Hello again. We're here with Brianna now. Brianna,
Yay!
thank you for being here with us today.
I'm happy to be here. I
Thank
feel
you.
I feel good energy, so I'm happy.
Yes, good. Me too. Um, all right. So if we can jump right in, please introduce yourself and tell everyone what it is that you do.
So I am Breonna Barnes. Across social networks, I'm known as the Mindset Mover, and I'm highly focused on getting people to really tap into who they're meant to be through their mind and getting perspectives in place. So I focus with different people on their limited beliefs and getting them to really alter their beliefs to be able to see if we can get some leg room for them to believe something different and create the reality of the life that they want. Um, I do a lot of different one-on-one, and then I do conference as well, with different individuals if they are dealing and they're comfortable sharing or being with other people. I do accountability sessions for people who are just wanting to be accountable for what they're doing. And a lot of people who have the accountability is just self-belief, just believing in the self and knowing that, because when we stall from doing something, it's kind of that goes back to the belief system. So I work with accountability, postpartum support, and then just a success, for people who are looking to just achieve something. Like some people will tell me, I know I'm created to do more. I just haven't found I don't know where or how to start. And that is what the success coaching is. We go in and figure out what it is that you're passionate about so that you can at least know how I can start, where to focus. So I do a lot of mindset.
Amazing. Awesome. Sounds like you would have come in handy to me a couple of years ago.
I would have come in
I
handy to
was
myself.
Yeah, but I really struggled with like I
Um,
always felt that I had this like fire inside me, and I just
mhm.
didn't. I was like, the minute I find it, I'll just go boom. I know,
Boom.
like I could
Yes.
feel it like bubbling, and I was like, oh, I'm so like it was like frustration, but on like
Yes.
desperate levels. I was like, I want to figure out what it is I'm meant to be doing. It was it's really hard when you don't know and you have that like that passion and you don't
Yes.
know
It's a
where to
block.
direct it.
Yes, it's a definite block, and it
Yeah,
it prevents us from moving forward because we're so focused on what that feeling is that we get stuck there. So it is definitely helpful to have guidance in that time. Even for myself, thank God I figured it out. But
mm,
to be able to have someone to guide you in that moment, it really helps. It helps.
it really does. Awesome. Could you, if you could please share with us a little bit about your personal journey, how it is that you got to do what you do today?
Yeah. I got here through being diagnosed with postpartum depression. It was the moment of me knowing that I had to make some changes and not knowing how to make those changes, a way for me to really process and feel and not go absolutely crazy, and how in my emotions and what I was feeling. It was me going in then and starting a blog to be able to talk to other women and speak to them about things that I was going through. But it's crazy because it's like, how can I speak and I can talk and encourage people when I'm going through the exact thing? But it was an outlet, and it was a way for me to even get to this platform now, which of course is the Mindset Mover, which I've switched it over, because I learned in my postpartum depression was it was my thinking, it was how I was perceiving things, and even some things were in my life that needed to change and needed to filter out, but I was unable in that moment to recognize those things. So it all goes back to the mindset, how we're seeing and how we're looking. But in the moment of having postpartum depression, nobody can nobody can prepare for that. Nobody can really understand what it feels like to have a panic attack. I had my first panic attack, and I it was a body thing. My mind was working because it was telling me to just relax, calm down, sit, but my body had already went into a response. And to when you're dealing with severe mental illness at that point, it is so hard to pull yourself out and to find the light and to find the hope. So I spent a lot of time. My anxiety and depression would happen at night, and I would hate to see the sun go down, and it would drive me absolutely crazy. And that's when I would go into my panic attacks. And in that time, what helped me was writing, being able to write what I was feeling. What am I thinking right now? How can I use what's happening to me and make it a story to help other people so that they don't have to feel, or if they do feel in this moment, they know that I'm not the only one that feels like this. This is normal. I can make it through, because those were the things I needed to hear and needed to know. I can't tell you anybody else that I know personally that has experienced what I've experienced. If they have, they haven't openly shared it with me. But I can't say I know this person and they went through this, and I can feel like something wasn't wrong with me. So just dealing with that and having those issues, it caused me to really look into myself more and just dig deep. And it led me into the meditation and the mindfulness and really learning about the mind and really connecting with myself, because mental illness for me, I recognize now as a disconnect from the self. So I had to figure out, how can I connect back with who I am? And it led me to this beautiful path of inspiring other women and speaking to them and just sharing I'm not ashamed of anything. I will tell every single piece, because I know that somebody somewhere needs to hear it. And if I can help them, that is absolutely the reason. That will be the purpose of why I went through that. It won't just be something that I went through and I felt like I was being picked out by the universe just to be beat up on. I'll use it as a message and a gift to help other people. And it has been transforming, because even when I do speaking engagements, it is women who didn't even identify themselves as having depression or postpartum anxiety. And now they're looking into it. And I've even had people reach back to me and say they actually went to the doctor and they got a diagnosis. And this is what it was about for me. That's what kept me in it. But that is a big part of why I jumped into where I'm in now, the coaching. We all need a little
Amazing.
help.
Yes, yes, we do. We we definitely do. But it's I love how the blogging, the writing was the tool that really, really helped you. It's the
Yes.
same with me. I'm not going to say it's the same. I had various other tools that got me, through sobriety and stuff like that. But I
Right.
really do feel that writing and blogging, because I started with blogging
Yes.
before I got to the consulting that I do today. And it's just such a good tool for processing our emotions
Yes.
and for expressing. And that's
Yes.
so crucial for the mental and the energetic aspect of our beings. And
Yes.
it's something that gets so overlooked and so underestimated and so neglected. People don't process their emotions, and then it's stuck, and then,
Yes. We
downward
don't
spiral.
think to process. And
It's
honestly, I
amazing.
didn't really think to process emotions until I started the blog.
Hmm.
That helped me really become conscious of what I was thinking. And whenever I felt something, I was like, oh, I'm gonna go write. And that writing really helped me be like, oh, I got it out where I could see it and I connect the dots. And
Hmm.
it really helped a lot.
And then doing that helps other people as well. And
Right.
then
It's
that helps
crazy.
us again, because
It's a
we feel
cycle.
even better. And it's an upwards, spiral instead of the
Right.
downward spiral.
Right.
Um,
Exactly.
it really, really is awesome. They say that, the best way to learn is to teach. And it's like,
Absolutely.
I want to
Absolutely.
learn more and more and progress more and more. And so if I teach what it is that I'm learning as I'm even doing it, sometimes it registers even more. Like I find
Right.
myself healing more and more the more I'm spreading it
Yes.
and teaching it and sharing my insights. So
That
it's
we are
really
exactly the
awesome.
same.
It's amazing. It's so awesome. Um, okay, and I also I love how you really picked up on the mindset.
Mhm.
Like that was the main, that's the main factor for you that you found was power, that we have
Yes.
in the mindset.
Wow.
Are there any tools that you mind sharing with us that you like to use when it's mindset shifting?
hmm I'm a big writer, big writer, like
Okay.
you were just saying. So the first thing, always when you're shifting your mind, you haven't if you're stuck, that means that there's some blockage and there's something that's up. Whatever way that you express, which I feel, even if it's video speaking, because there were times where I would be so angry in my depressive states when I was dealing with heavy, when I first started, not started, but when I first was diagnosed with postpartum depression, there was an anger. It went like I'm mad because I these doctors are telling me that this it was still not able to see the side. So I would make a video and I would talk into the video about how I was feeling because I was too angry and too ashamed to look at what I would write or what I would say. So it's some people don't like writing. You
Hmm.
don't have to write, but you want to get those emotions out. You want to get whatever it is that's there out, because in order for the mind to grasp and see, you have to be able to see what it is that you're telling or what you're saying to yourself. And then from there, the next thing I did, once I realized that I have poor communication skills with myself, I talk horrible to myself, is to do a lot of affirmations. Affirmations saved my life, because if you consistently repeat a thing in your mind and you're teaching your mind a new way, all we know is the past, because the mind is the record of what we already have seen. So you have to introduce it to something new, because it won't go into a new direction unless you guide it. And you have to have the confidence enough to go into guiding. So you get into that confidence by making those affirmations. And that is what I did. So people affirmations are stupid. I've heard somebody say that. Okay, so what is the difference in you telling yourself I can and I can't? You're affirming either way, but you're affirming yourself backwards or forwards. I'm stuck, I'm always going to be stuck. That's an affirmation. It's a negative affirmation. You are
Hmm.
affirming that I will always be stuck. I can't get out of this place. If that is what you believe, and if that is what you're going to input into your body, that is what your mind is going to receive, and that is how it's going to act to, respond to everything that's happening. So if you can pull inside of yourself, even if it's chaos around you, and say that I will not be in this place forever, that is the same thing. You're just reversing it. It's which you want to reverse the car or go forward. And I like to drive forward. I can't really back up. So, some tools just to narrow it down: if you write, get it all out. There are emotions that are built up on the inside of you when you get into a mindset shift, and you need to get those where you can see it. So, writing, even if you don't want to write, if you want to go listen to motivational speaking, if you need some type of encouragement, that is exactly some things that I was doing. From there, affirming, changing the shift is coming from, where is it that I want to go? I want to go to X, Y, and Z. So you need to be putting affirmations in that area, so that you can get your mind familiar with how it is to speak at this level, how it is to think at this level. It's so many different things that you have to train your mind to do, because the mind is stubborn. It's very stubborn. It doesn't want to always do things. And if you get to a point of saying affirmations and not feeling, it's a cycle, not feeling that the affirmations are working, you go back to writing. This is the circle that I used, and I'm writing why I feel these affirmations aren't working. And you look at it, how can I change why they're not working, and change the perspective and go back into a new affirmation, and you'll look and your world will be a completely different place. That is exactly the process that I used
I
to
love
get
it.
to where I am. And I still do it to this day, because I still get stuck. And even as a mindset coach, I will tell myself that is not the way to think. Why are you thinking like that? You know better than that. I still have to do it to this day. So I um shared a concept with my Instagram last week of brain dumping. And brain dumping was writing down every single thing in your mind that you felt uneasy about, because those are vibrations. So let's look at these vibrations. Let's see, um, what it is that I'm telling myself. If I feel I'm financially, I just feel like I'm in a state of lack, you need to be thinking abundance. So why do you feel like you're in lack? Let's list those reasons. Either I lost my job, or I just went through a divorce, or whatever those issues were. Start having conversations with yourself about why I feel like this helps you to process what it is that you're thinking, so that you can see what it is this thought is causing me to believe. If you
Hmm.
can see what your belief is on paper, or the dump is not in a certain way that you do it, but I write down everything, every single emotion. And it's different from journaling, because journaling, for me, I normally like to talk about one specific topic. That's just me. People may write about a lot, but for me, whenever I pick up a pen and paper, it's because something pushed me to go there, and I
Yeah.
write mostly about that. With brain dumping, I think about how I felt like a bad mom today. I feel I'm frustrated with work today. I write every single thing down, and I write why. That is a big, 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 big thing that the community that I speak with, they found very, very helpful. The
I'm
brain
gonna do some brain dumping tonight.
it's good. I did it last week. I said I'm gonna do one dump because I felt like one. But if you do it once, you're gonna keep doing it every day, and you're gonna get addicted to it. Because
I
I've
believe
been
it.
doing it every day, but it helps me. It's like my best friend. It's like I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm really talking. Like I'm getting this out. I'm understanding why I feel how I feel, and it's a good feeling. So that is a big thing to do, to the brain dumping. I got that from when I get ready to do my content, and they said let's do a brain dump of ideas. So I was like, let's brain dump my emotions.
Well, I swear I was literally just thinking that that's more or less how the
Yeah,
process from my content creation on
yeah.
my Instagram, but I don't do like a brain dump. I just think, what is it today that I've
Mhm.
learned, or that like there was
Wow,
an
that's
aha moment, I
awesome.
connected a dot or something like, what is it that kind of stood out to me today? Usually throughout the day, I'll just write something down if it's come to me straight away. But if
Yes.
not, I get to the end of the day and I'm like,
Me too.
what can I kind of dump
Right,
today?
right. What happened?
And
I,
kind of
I'm
work
I'm
through
better
it.
at it with when it immediately happens. I'm better
Yeah,
at writing it
exactly.
because by the end
Yeah.
of the day, I'm like all the ideas just swarming around like Tweetbird.
No, but it's awesome. I'm a writer too. I love it. With the affirmations, there were a few things that I wanted to mention. I did a self-care workshop yesterday, and it was really cool. And there was a question came up with someone where she asked about that the positive affirmations,
hmm
she never really believed them.
Oh
She was
wow.
struggling to kind of go from the extreme negativity that was her
Ooh.
reality to the
Mm.
positive. And I
hmm
said that potentially try a smaller, you know, uh,
Yes.
leap, because from really negative to really positive, it's hard. There's a gap that needs bridging.
hmm
So to kind of start smaller. And do you find that as well? I mean, I remember when I was doing affirmations, there were days where I was like, I don't feel very positive today. So
hmm
I would just write down like, I'm human. Today, that's the
Yes.
best I can do. I'm human.
I have a solution for that as well. So, when you struggle with affirmations, you don't have to pull from within yourself to make yourself believe something. Go into gratitude. It may not be affirmation day for you. Let's do gratitude. Let's look at the things around us that reminds me that I am somebody. I'm meaningful, because if you're in a state of not wanting to affirm, that means that there's some unworthiness, or there is some neglect of self there. So you want to go back into just remembering why I'm here, what it is that I have to be happy for, because it can be tough. It can be tough when your focus has been on what is negative. What can I physically see with my eyes that is positive, to know that I'm breathing? And I tell a lot of people, you can simply just touch your heart. Feel your heartbeat. That's one way to just get present with yourself and know my heart is beating. There's a reason why I'm here. That even if that brings tears to your eyes because you don't feel like there's a reason why you should be here, that's a moment of self care and self love, to just acknowledge yourself, acknowledge
Mm,
your own worth.
I
And
like
then you
that.
go from there, and you just look. If you're sitting in a room wherever you are, just look at the roof, look at the ceiling, and just I'm covered, I'm sheltered, I'm not out. I could be outside, I'm looking outside, I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted. I could be outside in the rain, like not being sheltered. I ate today, I'm not hungry. There's food. There are so many different things that you can start to look at as gratitude. And then if you have to stay in a moment of gratitude for a while, the affirmations will come. Be grateful, because 9 times out of 10 she's waking up every single day with the thoughts from yesterday. She's not producing any new thoughts. So the way to produce new thoughts is to look at it differently. Start to physically look at things that you are happy about, that you're grateful for. That's the number one way to get into wanting to even embrace the affirmation.
So that leads me nicely into the second point that I wanted to say, where I found a lot, and I come up a lot with this as well with
Mhm.
clients and with people in general, where our mind likes the familiar because the familiar is
Mhm.
safe, right? And so when
Yes.
we're trying to put in a new habit like affirmations or gratitude practice,
Mhm.
then our mind will say, hold on, that's unfamiliar, that's a threat, that's
Yes.
not safe. And
Yes.
then we have that mental resistance. So do you have any, I don't know, examples or tips about overcoming the mental resistance?
Yes. A mental resistance is a lot about beliefs. Again, it's what we've come to believe about a thing. And when you get into a point of really resisting, I'm trying to give you an example of where I've really resisted. It can that it's tough. It's tough.
Mm-hmm.
But what you want to do in that moment, because I know people hate, I'm trying not to say right. I'm trying not to say that, but that is honestly what is going to help you. You get into a moment of resisting, go into thinking, write down literally why. Not
Get
in a
curious. I
way
like it.
that not in a way that makes you feel like it's homework, but just a real if you're angry, there's words that that makes that anger come visual so someone else can understand it. Write that down. Why am I that is what I do. So one of my blockages, I will have a creative block on. I've been working on a lot of ebooks, and it's like I have all the knowledge here, and I'm like, why do I feel like I'm not good enough, or that my content or something is, and it'll stop me from completely doing it, and I'll just leave it alone because it's I'm resistant to it. But if you have to face yourself whenever you're resisting with something, and the only way you can face yourself is to start by having a conversation, and that's writing down, I feel resistant. It's easy to talk about why we don't um like something before we can look at the positive. So if you could just write that down and physically look at it and sit with it, then start to look at why that is not true. What can I look at differently? And some people just say, I don't know. If you don't know, just write, the answer will come. The answer will come. The
Mm-hmm.
answer will come. And then look for the answer. Actively look for the answer. Actively look for the answer. And today, if you think that that might be an answer, write what that answer may have been. And it helps you connect with it a little bit more so that you're not as resistant. And the more open you are to wanting to know why I'm resistant and what's holding me back, the quicker the answers will come to you.
That's another I like that you're talking about answers and being open to having
Mhm,
these answers, because
mhm.
I had that happen to me recently, where I've really worked on opening my receiving channels and
Yeah,
just trusting that
that's
I'll
what it is.
figure it out. I'm
Mhm.
trusting the process, and then I am literally just, you do not understand how many answers I'm getting because I'm just open to it. It's like literally, I would have a conversation with someone again through Facebook, just mingling,
Yeah,
chatting, people saying, let's have a chat, let's have a this. Do
yes.
you want a free strategy call? Why not? Let's have a free strategy call. And then in the
Yes.
strategy call, they'll be asking me questions, and I'll say, you know what? I have a fear of failure, and they pick up on it and they say, it's a fear of failure. And then we finish the strategy call, and the next person I speak to, I will speak to that person, and it will be a business coach, for example, out of nowhere. And I'll be like, you know what? I just realized I had a fear of failure. And they're like, well, you know what? And they'll give me the
Right.
answer, and they'll say that the results are on the clients. The clients need to do the work. You can only give the tools and the guidance, but at the end of the day, you know,
Yes.
you're not responsible for
Yes.
people not having results. And they just, it's like I'm constantly seeking the answers and curious and trying to figure out more and get through these blocks, and the answers just keep coming. It's amazing
Yes.
when it happens.
Yes. And that's what it's all about. You have to do the work for yourself. And that is why mindset is so important. Because if you cannot pick up positive thinking patterns, or if you cannot be able to identify when your patterns are fluctuating from negative to positive, then that is going to be troublesome for you. Because I can tell you all day what it is that you need to do, but you have to be open to what it is. You have to be open to the change, and you have to be willing to let change take place. And even if it's uncomfortable, take your time. It's not a rush. You don't have to turn into a person who believes and thinks positive tomorrow. It's going to
Hmm.
take time. The brain needs to work its muscle to get there. So
That was one of the biggest lessons I learned. I wrote an article about a month ago called Patience is a Bitch, because I
it is.
realized I realized that I have to be patient and things will take
Yes.
time. And it's like if you had a broken leg, you wouldn't expect it to heal overnight,
And
and
even
you
if you
wouldn't
do, it's not.
exactly, but then you also have residual pain if you had a really, like, okay, now I'm going into trauma and like the
Yeah.
whole thing of
No,
healing, but
I
that
like it.
my article was about that as well, that there's going to be residual pain sometimes as well, and like things will take time to heal, and maybe they
Yes.
won't completely heal, but
Yes.
things take time. And went a little bit off track. Sorry, just you reminded me about
No,
the
no, no,
patience.
no. That was actually on
Things
track.
really
I
take
think that
time.
we're kind of on the same frequency, so that's why I enjoy it so much. But
Thank you.
that gets into healing. That's when you can think clearly, you are healed. You have some sort of healing in your mind, and we're constantly always evolving and healing. And we'll, even at this level, at my next level, there'll be more healing for me. It's
Hmm.
always a constant state. And if we can get familiar with the cycles of life and how things work, and be open and be present and be calm, a lot of resistance will fall, a lot of anxiety will fall, and just understand how the world is processing. Get your
Yes.
mind in the flow with how everything else is going. We've been trained to be outward instead of inward and flow. So
And instant gratification as
instant
well.
gratification is a bitch too.
Yeah. A lot of new practices, a lot of unlearning to do and
Yes.
relearning, but it's doable. It is
And
just a
it's
matter of
worth it.
mindset. A lot. Oh my God, it's so worth it.
It is so
Oh
worth
my
it.
God. And the thing is that it's really hard sometimes to kind of explain or describe how worth it is to people that are, really
Yes.
stuck and really in the negativity. It's like it's so worth it. And it's
It
like
is
because
so
you've been
worth it.
there and you know how incredible the shift is. And it's so doable. Like it is, it's hard as
Like, it's
hell, but it's
possible to breathe. It is
ah,
possible to breathe. And I was just thinking that literally last night, when I would have for years, I felt the tight chest. Just, it's like I felt the burdens on me. And I was breathing last night like I feel so light. I feel so free. Like I'm not in a constant state of worry and stress and depressed, like just, oh, it's going to be worse. Oh, it's going to be. I'm in a very positive state where I'm expecting the best, and the best keeps coming. And once you
amazing.
tap into that, it keeps coming. I don't know. It's worth it.
And I know you, I hope it's okay that I'm sharing this, but for
No,
the
it's fine.
viewers, I wanna say that
Okay.
You are you're a single parent, right?
Hmm.
If I remember correctly, we've got your
Yes.
two boys and you're working, you're studying your, online entrepreneur,
Yes.
online coaching. Like, you are a superwoman. You
Ah.
are such a superwoman. And, it was really, I wanted to give you an opportunity to kind of flaunt it, and you're very modest.
Oh,
You,
thank
you,
you.
you didn't,
Thank
you
you.
didn't
Thank you.
even go into that, but
I didn't. And a lot of people, what I tell people is, I don't think that I don't recognize my trauma anymore. So when it's time for me to talk about it, or when it's time for me to kind of put it out there, I'm such in a great place and where my mind is, and I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. My mom will jump in when I'm doing speaking and say, girl, no, you've done this. But yes, I have a
yeah,
9-year old. We're in virtual school right now, and I have a 2-year old who I'm having to be his teacher as well because he wants to be in virtual school. And in the midst of that, I'm launching a store. I am every day doing video. I'm on a tight schedule, literally. I didn't think about all that. But
amazing.
yes, I'm recording videos. I do Mindset Mondays on YouTube every single Monday. Um, where people can get different concepts. It's just a theme of the week. How will we live our week? And if we can start the week off thinking in a certain direction, then it'll really set the momentum for us for that week. So I do the move the Mindset Monday. Mindset Mondays, and then I'm on Instagram, of course, doing my videos. And I didn't even think, yeah, I do a lot. And sometimes doing that, people look at me and they say, oh, you're so strong, or you can handle a lot. And for me, for a while, it was very frustrating. I was very resentful because I'm a single mom. I started to be resentful of the fathers, like, or just feeling alone, just like, I need help. And then that thinking is really what took me deeper into like the depression and everything. So I had to tap into thinking differently and really believing that I was a good mom. You're a great mom. Girl, you're a great mom. You graduated from college. We have it's with a great GPA. It's so many different things that I've accomplished, and I haven't even taken time to acknowledge it for myself, which thank you for giving me that floor. But I started, this is just recently, maybe 2 weeks ago, telling myself, you are a great mom. Last night I was so excited because by 7:15 dinner had been cooked. We ate, we had took baths. It was time to get into bed. And I was like, girl, you did content today. You are killing it. I was like, and
Amazing.
I have gotten to the point now where I have an affirmation board, and every day I check in with myself and I write the date, and I write, today was awesome. You did great. And I just remind myself of what it is that I did that was awesome, because I don't look at what I do. I just do it because I have to do it, because I want my children to be comfortable. I want to be comfortable. I want to keep evolving and building business. And I don't take time to say, you've done a great job. And I'm starting to do that. And I'm
Good,
starting to really feel happy about it too.
good, good, good.
Good
It's
morning.
good morning.
He's gone.
It's awesome. It's awesome. I'm very happy to hear that you've started doing that. Um,
Yes.
hey.
He's woke. He's like, where are you?
All good. You go be with your little baby. We're wrapping up anyway. So hi.
Hi.
Brianna, thank you for
Thank
sharing.
you.
Thank you for your time. I love you.
I love you too. Thank
Let's
you so
be in
much.
touch.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Bye.